there's still room, and it's just OTAs and minicamp. So there's always room to get better. I got a checklist of things that I still want to fine tune before training camp, but I feel very comfortable with where I'm at. But that's the problem. You never want to feel comfortable, so I'm gonna keep pushing myself and keep grinding. I've had a lot of experience at learning new offenses and just going through that process of so I feel like I'm in a good place, but I got to make sure I stay in a good place. And so just making sure I stay on it. It was a lot of extra time, just spent with a coach when we were allowed, or talking with a player that's been in the system, asking them questions, all that. So it's a lot of hard work, and I'll definitely take the weekend to get some sleep.
We heard you last year say that you thought some of the play action stuff at the end of the year helped you kind of play better toward the end of the year. We've seen you do a lot of play action stuff in training camp and OTAs. What is it about play action that you find comfortable, and then what makes the play successful? Is it completely dependent on the run, or is there something that you can do to make it successful as well?
Yeah, every play, all 11 matter, and so I have to be able to make a good fake. It has to look the same when I go to hand it to running back, and same thing when I run a play action or a bootleg. It's got to all look the same, and so I think that's the thing about this offense that has just it's given teams problems for so many years. Is the run, the play action, the stems, everything looks the same for the first 2 seconds, and so it helps create better pockets. It helps the offensive line. Sometimes it's hard in this league to just pass set a Khalil Mack or pass set those kind of guys over and over again, right? And so if you can do both and you can have success in the run game, I think then the play action, everyone doing their part, it matters too. The double team has to look the same in a run as it does in a play action. If one's higher than the other, a good linebacker is going to see that quicker. And so all of those little details matter, but they've done a great job of their urgency and their intensity in which they coach it. They demand from us perfection, and we do our best to make it look that way, run or pass. And so I think that's been a positive for us this camp.
And why did you think that was part of your kind of late season success? You referenced that a lot last year. So.
Yeah, I think. But we noticed. I forget who asked. Forgive me. But we noticed. When you guys were asking, that the percentages are going up with play action and that kind of stuff. I think it helped the offensive line. I think it helped. Our guys get into some windows and get some space. Rather than just only having a drop back. Pass. Mentality, which we would get ourselves into. If you're down in the game, it's tough to do that sometimes. So a lot of different reasons, but I felt like when we did it, we were pretty good at it, and I thought we had success in that run when we were doing those things, and that's why we stuck with it. It was going well, and those things were going good for us, and so now we're in a system that has a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's just help us fine tune and really learn and get better in that world. Because a lot of us don't come from that world all the time. So whether it was that Drew Brees style of offense here, or other places I've been and systems I've played in, like when you get into that world, you see why people have had success for sure.
A little different than they did last year. Which one you were early impressed with guys?
I think that they have. I think the coolest thing about our offensive line, I think they've had a wonderful camp and OTAs and offseason. I really do. But I think the coolest thing I've seen, that unit just come together like they are a walking herd down the hallway wherever they go. And I think that's really cool. I think that unity, that bond, that cohesiveness, that togetherness. I thought they were close last year, but this is just another level that they've taken it to with Eric's leadership and seizing those guys. I mean, everyone's bought in. You just feel this, and not anyone wasn't. It's just you know what I'm saying. It's just different. You can just feel a different stampede coming down the hall when we were about to start our offensive meeting, and you hear Eric yell. 30 seconds later, every offensive lineman's going to walk in the door, and that's a cool thing to see. And so, as a quarterback, I mean, those are your best friends. And so, whenever you see that group growing together, and then as they're growing tighter together, and then they start doing some things on the field, you're like, oh wow, that's just a positive sign. And so, I think they took to heart a lot of stuff, from last year and things like that. And they got a lot of toughness and mental makeup about them. And I've just been really impressed with just watching. On the field stuff's been awesome, but off the field, just that has been the coolest part to me.
The real test for how this offense will look really happens when the pads come on. But how do you think the entire unit as a whole has really progressed in the offense from a mental?
Yeah, I think we've come a long way, and they threw, Clint threw everything at us. Clint and the staff, they made it really, really difficult on our guys. And for some guys, this is the first time they've had to be in the NFL and learn a new system. And so I've been at where they slow easy into it. I've been at where they throw everything at you, and you see who can kind of catch up and who can make it and that kind of stuff, and it kind of weeds itself out. Here, they threw everything at us, and our guys worked so hard mentally. I just saw players like grabbing each other all the time, like, and just having extra meeting time and like doing the stuff it takes to win. And I saw our guys doing that. And when you see that happening, and then you see the results happening in practice against an amazing defense, that to me just bodes confidence for our guys that we're on the right track. And so I think, like I said earlier, I think we're in a good place, but never want to be comfortable. Hopefully, we just keep the gas pedal down, spend some time with family. Obviously, get your mind off football. All of our minds are melted right now after a mini camp, but give it a couple days, get right back into it, and keep the gas pedal down because. I think we're in a good place, but I think that we can just keep getting better. That's for sure.
About it before, and so some of the other players about the detail orientation that this new offensive staff has. But compared to some of your other experiences with those staffs, what makes their detail orientation so different?
Well, the best offenses that I've been able to play with was very detail oriented. And no one gets a pass. If I do something, I complete a ball. Like it's happened like 5 times where like I've completed a ball and like Clint's like, nope, I need it quicker. And it's like that urgency, that intensity. Like, yeah, it was a great play and we could have all just high five and be like, yeah, awesome. He's like, no, quick. He's pushing me all the time to just try and be perfect. And when he does that to me, it opens the door for everyone in the room to be like, oh shoot, I better be on my stuff. If the quarterback's getting it, then I know everybody's got to get it. And I think that right there, and us meeting together, them hearing him coach me in front of everybody, and the level of standard that he has set for me, and the perfection that he's trying to set for me. No one's perfect, but we set that standard. Then he knows, everyone else knows that as leaders, Eric and I, and Taysom, Foster, Jamal, we can go to these guys and be like, hey, we need you to go, and because we're the ones getting it first. And so I think that part of it has been really cool from this staff and this offseason.
I know narratives can always be oversimplified, especially in this league, but one of the ones throughout your career was that sometimes there was an adjustment period in the first year of an offense, even in your best years with John Gruden. I don't think your first year was your most productive. What gives you the confidence that you can get past that quickly and adjust?
Man, it's a new year. Again, nobody cares at the end of the day. You got to learn new offense. Nobody cares at all. We got to go perform. And I just tried my best to take everything and the experience that I've learned, and I asked myself that question: how can I be better in this first year? And I looked at everything I'm doing, and I just tried to take it all to just an extreme level of mental, capacity that I could possibly take. And hopefully I'm not showing it too much, but I'm tired. Like this off season has been an absolute mental grind for me and for my teammates, and just pushing the guy. I've been pushing so hard and encouraging so hard to get past certain steps, because if Derek wants to have a good year, I got to have a good year. The running backs want to have a good year, the O-line, the tight end, it takes everybody, and so we have been pushing so hard just to make sure that we can come out and just be so focused on playing good football from the start. And, I don't have any promises. I don't have any guarantees that it's going to be better. I just know that we did more, and we're going to continue to do more until training camp gets here and the season gets here.
It was tough to gauge last year, obviously, because of the injury you suffered in week 3, but when did you start to feel like you found whatever kind of groove that is that you want to find last year in your first year with this offense?
Yeah, mentally I felt good probably right somewhere in the middle of the season. Mentally I felt good, like I had to feel like it was second nature. It wasn't thinking. But that's also a system where there was a ton of stuff on your plate, and I'm used to playing that way, where there's like 1,000 things on your plate, and you're used to fixing problems, but oh, that's not that word anymore. It's this word, or it's not second nature. So I think like halfway mentally, physically took a while, but mentally I felt good. But this time around, like they've done such a good job. I've just been really so impressed with Clint and the staff, like how they've worked with me, the communication. Like I'm like, if anything was like even like a little bit of hesitancy, I could just go straight to Clint's office and be like, hey, there's this thing that I still am not. He's like, don't even worry about that, just do this. And he always has a defined answer to help me just play fast. And I think I've just been really impressed with him. I think he's a really great coach, and I'm glad we have him.
I know you said at the golf tournament that they did seek your input. Does it feel like, I mean, you played in a lot of different offense, that this one has ideas in mind to accentuate your positives or your strengths?
I think so. And again, the season will, hopefully we all just do our job and we'll see during season. But I'm withholding all my excitement, because we were all standing here about 14 months ago thinking things would have gone differently, and 9 games is not good enough. And so there's a different feel this time where I'm just trying to stay the course. And when the doors close and no one knows what I'm doing, our fans can know that there's been an exceedingly amount of work being done, to where I'm just going to do everything I can to make sure it's not just 9 wins. We want to win more than that. We obviously want to do more than that, but it takes the work first in the process.
How cool was it in these last 2 days, finally seeing Calvin kind of run through the system and you guys all working? How does that look?
It's been awesome. Yeah, I mean, AK, he's our teammate. We love him. So him and having all the guys out there, that's always awesome. And being able to see him, make some of the plays that obviously we all know that he can make, and really just having his personality back. Just having our friend back. In the building was awesome, and having him in meetings, and he was clearly communicating with the coaches and with us, and so having him, seeing him, go through it. And there was a play last year where I handed him the ball, and I've played with a lot of good running backs, and I remember I was like, well, that's not open. I was like, that there's a hole, but I don't know. And I turn around and he hit an explosive burst that I've never seen before. And when he showed up, I mean, you hand him the ball, it just feels different. He's been blessed. God blessed him with those first 3 steps. They're just different than everybody else. And so seeing him hit those holes and things like that has been really cool to watch.
Was it a little unusual you didn't see him after walkthrough at practice today for you guys?
Yeah, I was just making sure. I was hoping he was okay. Like just your mind's like, oh, it is hot out here. I hope he's all right. But whatever. I honestly, we went straight to a meeting. I don't even really know what happened, but I'll check in on him. I'm sure he's fine. We were all talking to him this morning. He was in the meetings, everything. So I'm sure he's all right.
Well, his agent said it's apparently contract related.
Okay.
But when one of the top players on your offense has an apparent holdout at this stage, how do you process that?
Yeah, my dad always taught me, don't put your hand in another man's pocket. So I'm gonna let him deal with his money, and I'm gonna let him deal with his situation. So if that's what it's about, then God bless him. This is a hard job. Running back's a hard job. That's between him and the organization, but everyone here loves AK. We all love him as a teammate.
Derek, how's that quarterback room been like? How are the young quarterbacks picking up everything?
They've been awesome. They have been great. They asked so many great questions. All last year, me and Jake are so close. We play golf together, Fresno State. I've been talking to him since college. I've just helped him pour into his life, and anytime I see something, he knows I'm there to help or whatever. He's there. He's always asking me questions. Spencer's been the same way. Like he sits right next to me every meet. He sits in front of me in the quarterback room. Offense, he sits right next to me, and just as things happen, I just try and teach. I'm just trying to help him just the same way. Matt Schaub did for me. Just the same way all these veteran guys that I got to play with poured into my life. I'm doing the same thing for these guys. Because we were all at some point in their shoes. And we know how hard it is. We know the adjustment, especially from the college game now to this NFL game. It's just so different. And so just any bit of knowledge, anytime I see something, I just like, hey man, check this out. He's like, oh, okay, and he's always like writing it down, taking notes. And so him and Jake have both been like 10 out of 10 when it comes to just wanting to learn. They're gonna make their mistakes. They're both young quarterbacks, and I just try and encourage them all the time, man. Cut it loose. You're not gonna know what you can do unless you do it out here first. So you guys got to what a great opportunity to just keep learning, keep growing, make your mistakes out here, man, and let it just cut it loose and never lose that confidence. And so seeing them, whether if they make a mistake or this or that, man, they come back the next one and rip a great one. I'd be the first one to hug them, pat them on the head. Great job, man. Keep that mentality, because this game is always won in the fourth quarter, most NFL games. And so you make a mistake early, it doesn't matter, man. It's always the next play. And they've had that mentality. And so I'm excited about both of those guys. They've been doing a fantastic job.
Juwan is, I guess he's got a foot issue, it's not clear how long he'll be out, but, can you comment on how your chemistry with him has been developing, and when he does come back, what you would envision his type of contribution to be in the new offense?
I think he would have a great contribution. Before, again, I don't know what happened either, but every practice he was here every day, he looked phenomenal. He looked great. You could tell. One thing we could always, everyone in here could probably see, is like his physical ability. It's like, wow, he'll make a catch. Geez, it's really amazing how he can make those catches and run those routes. But the thing that I loved the most about was his mentality. He came with day one of phase one. Like he was locked in, laser focused. He was on a mission. And so I am really excited to watch Juwan this year. And obviously all our practices are done now, but when we get to camp and see how that looks and what he's doing, and as the season goes on, because I think just mentally, his mindset, he's in a great place. And so I think he'll contribute. I can't put a number on it, but I think it'll be good. And so I'm really excited about the work he's put in, and really just the mindset that our whole team came in with this offseason. We all came in kind of, sorry mom, but a little pissed off. And I think that's good. Especially in football.
Very good. I mean, there was a lot of talk at the end of last season about culture and about maybe complacency. Have you seen like the buy-in that you want to see? Have you seen changes that you want to see here within the organization?
Yeah, 100%. I think whatever message is given, from our leadership, whoever the leader is, whether it's a captain, a head coach, a coordinator, whoever it is. In football, as long as we're all on the same page, going in the same direction, it usually ends in good results. And, whenever you got one guy or two guys, if they're, I don't know, or this, or a question and this, and it doesn't even have to be negative or against it, but just not all the way in, there's always, in my experience, a problem. And I have seen nothing but full buy-in from everybody, especially this week. Like, everything that's said, everything that's asked, leaders are like, bro, I need you to do this, da, da, da. And like, guys are like, got it, bro, I got your back. And it's like, it's been really cool to see. And I think that everybody, like our team has just come so close together, especially through the end of last year and this offseason. We all stayed in touch. We just kept fighting for that unity. We kept fighting to grow the culture and set the standard of what we want it to be. And, it's one thing to do it while we're working out and hanging out in the hallway, but it's another thing to prove it on the field. And I think our guys carried what we had built over to this practice field, and thought we had a really great offseason. It's one of the best offseasons I've been a part of. Like, I'm really proud of the work I saw our guys putting in on offense and defense, our special teams guys. Like, it was really impressive to me. And so that excites me, for the culture. That's what it's supposed to look like. Like, the young guys coming in this year, seeing it, and like there's a certain standard. They're like, oh shoot, this is how we do things. Like, it should feel different. And so that's one thing I would definitely see. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Who? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to play in the Tahoe golf tournament, more so to go to the lake, but I will be in the Tahoe golf tournament with my family. And then we got a championship baseball game tonight at Pontiff, and so hopefully, might be some people there now at Pontiff, but be a big crowd for the kids. But yeah, we got a championship game. My two older boys are playing a championship game, so they are juiced, and so we have that. And then they made their little all-star team, so they're going to play on that. So they're just excelling, man. They're loving life out here. So we'll be out here for a few weeks. Then we'll go back to Vegas, get some stuff packed up, and then head to camp. So it'll be good. Handicap 3. And then I get really good by July, and then I got to put the sticks away, and then I'm terrible, come back in February. So that's how it usually goes.
Did you change like body composition and all this offseason? I remember you coming in last year like maybe a little bit more muscular. Does that
No, I was definitely, I guess pound wise, I weighed more. But like, I definitely just the overall conditioning, and I just took things kind of just to a different level, just so I could just, with the system and the boots and the things, I just want to make sure that I could run all day, especially I got to make my boot leg look the same thing as when I hand the ball off and then I boot away. And that's just so much running and all that kind of stuff. And 3 days if I'm tired. So like, so I'll be bigger for you come training camp. Probably like 2 pounds. Good. Thank you. Thank you.